Why would you people use Bankai? You don't have anyone. Byakuya using Bankai can make some sense. He has Renji as backup. He has goddamn bloody Bankai. You have lieutenants with Bankai-less lieutenants. Why in the world would you go for Bankai? What the f? Hi. So basically the episode starts off with Hi, episode 4,000 Year Blood War review. So basically the episode starts off with Rose basically going up against the Quincy brother of Tosin. Kidding. But he looks awfully like Tosin. Tosin was never that creepy. He's really creepy. Okay, Tosin was never that creepy. Mine is that Tosin, like we don't talk about that. But in his normal form, Tosin was never that creepy. This guy looks like Tosin's creepy form condensed into a cylinder humanoid form. He looks like that. He is like really creepy looking, especially the teeth area. That looks really weird, honestly. Rose is basically like feeling. We basically get to see a connection between Rose and Izuru. In this episode, like Rose is like, whenever Izuru was around, I was basically my guitar, and I was basically the greatest artist, musicians, whatever you want to say. Now he's not here. My guitar and my soul is feeling the greatest despair, sadness, sorrow, uki ora. So basically that it's not that fun for me, this segment, because I don't care about any of them, both of them, to be honest, that much. I care about Izuru more than I care about Rose, honestly. I am not interested in Rose that much. Okay, then we shift to the part that everyone wants to talk about. Okay, I will try to make this episode under for 15 minutes but that never seems to happen from the past 3 episodes. We will give it another shot. Maybe we can do it. So basically, as no debt, another stern ritter whose name I like, kind of having a little bit problem with pronunciation. I didn't prepare for it, I guess. So he's basically attacking a lot of no-name Shinigamis, and a lot of Shinigamis are now running. His ability is something like this. I've seen like something like this. He stabs some people with those horn-like projectiles made of reishi, I feel. And after stabbing them, also they die or are on the verge of death, and then they get tortured for a while, which is like, he looks real creepy. That power suits him, honestly. But then basically a lot of no-name Shinigamis are running away. One of them is like, no, we are here not to protect our lives, we are here to protect the Sarite. I mean, kind of a dumb move basically, but those people also running away won't be able to survive, so I guess that's also not that great of a move. Okay, then Renji comes here, saves this, I guess, loyal Shinigami's ass, and then Renji is trying to fight him, but he's not able to hit this man. And the reason he's not able to hit that man is because of Blunt Wayne. This is an offense. We get to find out in this episode that, like, this is an offensive and defensive ability that you use to like bring up your stats in attack or defense, not both at the same time, at least. And also we get to see another ability that's Blunt Artery, right? In this ability, like, you can basically put more points in your speed stat. Basically, you can become faster, your attacks will become faster, basically. Okay, so Renji is not able to hit him, and then the man, the legend, the myth. Anything? Drum roll, something? No? Come on. Okay. Byakuya'S appears and basically is like, so our blades won't cut him. That's not possible. And basically, as no debt, hands goes like boom, and Senbun Sakura's petals basically destroy his hand, basically, in a way. And he's like shocked by it. And we also get to see one luchador, Quincy, who's basically like, in a way, like went to the center of the earth because thanks to Byakuya, and it becomes a 2-on-1 fight of Byakuya and Renji versus as no debt, right? Oh my god, his name, I like his name. I like his design also. Hey, if you're liking this video, please remember to comment, share, subscribe, and what after that, also we cut to a scene where, oh, okay, this is kind of really important scene. Aizen, I know it's Aizen, it's Aizen. I don't believe any of you stupid people. Okay, Aizen basically tries to go up against one of those, another, probably their leader, the leader of Stern Ritters, the blonde guy, and he's like, shall not pass! Okay. And later on in the manga, it's not shown in the anime, but later on in the manga, we get to see those two stupid, like, new characters that are introduced in this anime, that girl and boy, basically looking at basically looking at Aizen and being like, oh, Aizen-sama. I mean, they don't say Aizen-sama, but you get the point. Remember, guys, Kyokai Segetsu controls all your senses. This is Aizen, Stern Ritter, Shinigami, everyone is under Kyokai Suigetsu. You, me, maybe not me, but you, everyone is under Kyokai Suigetsu. Okay? So basically, what happens then we get to see Konohamaru? No, not that Konohamaru. Konamaru? Oh man, I'm forgetting his name, how to say it. That's really dumb, but whatever. The doggy captain versus Bambi, the deer. So dog versus deer basically, and doggy captain is basically like, even a young girl is in the rebel army, and the Bambi Quincy is basically like, even a dog is in the Quincy. God damn it! Even in the as a captain in Soul Society, you must be really understaffed. I mean, to be honest, they were understaffed for quite some while, and thanks to you, after this whole thing is over, they will be really understaffed. I think they will, like, no-name Shinigamis are like hundreds of them are dead by this point. Honestly, a lot of lieutenants are probably going to die. I feel captains are going to die also. I'm almost certain a lot of people are going to die. Like, I know a lot of people are going to die, and I kind of have an idea who is going to die. I'm kind of in a denial, but how do I know that? Thanks to the internet. So after that, Doggy One and Doggy Bambi happens, and then Soifon basically goes up against a dude who is wearing a mask, right? She's going up against a dude who's wearing a mask, and she also can't pierce him with her Suzume Bachi. She tries it, and this is something I really like. In the manga, this episode covers 5 chapters, by the way. In this in the manga, Soifon basically directly goes into her Bankai, the fuck off missile launcher basically. But in this episode, they make it more sensible, make more sense to it, that why didn't she try do that in the manga then? She basically tries to use her Shikai on the Stern Ritter, but she can't pierce him. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it only shows you the fact that the Stern Ritter's, that blunt vein defensive technique is really strong. Like later on we also see Byakuya also struggling against this ability, because now Senbun Sakura's petals are not able to cut Asnodet's face also and his eyes also. So this ability is pretty damn strong. Okay. Also we get to see here Toshiro Hitsugaya trying to go up against another Stern Ritter who has a really cool metal claw. I like that claw, honestly. Okay, but no one is having any much of success in this fight. Honestly, Stern Ritters are kind of overpowering them. Special thanks to their goddamn Bankai stealing ability. They are kind of really overpowering them. So basically, Byakuya is basically trying to fight against this guy, and he basically goes for multiple attacks. He goes for his Bankai straight away basically, and Renji is like, sir, according to Lieutenant Sasakibe, they can seal away our Bankai, and Byakuya is basically said this, that okay, they can steal away our Bankai, Renji. Don't shit your pants. I know, I'm not a dumbass like you. But what is that hair color? Red? You should go for natural, something black, something normal looking, Renji. Back to the point. So basically, Byakuya is like, these are the, first of all, they attacked uh, the sedative without any prior information. So they kind of informed you that we are going to attack. They said 5 days, but still they informed you that they are going to attack. They kill Byakuya, like they kill Sasakibe, and some, most importantly, these are not the people that we can defeat without the use of our Bankai, which is absolutely true. I feel like with Bankai is going to struggle, but without, that's just a bloodbath basically, I am quite sure. So he's like, we will try to analyze his abilities and how he seals my Bankais, and then we will come up with a strategy to unseal my Bankai. And if that doesn't happen, we will use your Bankai to defeat him. And that basically doesn't happen at all. Like Byakuya goes Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi, and a lot of like petals, this Bankai gets activated, and everyone like Doggy Captain, Soifon, Hitsugaya, everyone goes into their Bankai straight away. The thing is that it doesn't make sense. Renji has a Bankai. No other lieutenant, as far as I know, has a Bankai. Like they got one during this how many months of training. It can happen, but I don't feel like Rangiku has I just don't feel like she has a Bankai. I don't feel like Doggy's captain has a Bankai. I don't feel like, what do you call it? Soifon lieutenants doesn't have a Bankai. Okay, he doesn't have. Both of the other two lieutenants I can see. Soifon ones, no, he doesn't have a Bankai. Okay, no. So basically, so it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, Byakuya'S plan makes sense, and it makes sense one of the captains to maybe try and figure this out. Not everyone, one of you do it, and it makes sense. Byakuya does it because, first of all, Byakuya is one of in these four, I think he's the smartest. Okay, so he is the most likely to figure out a plan to resolve this Bankai sealing issue, I guess. So, and he has Renji, a lieutenant who has Bankai. He's one of the strongest lieutenants. So it makes sense that if he is able to find out how to deal with this turn reader Bankai stealing technique, he can use Renji's Bankai. Well, not directly, Renji can use his Bankai to defeat this enemy. Why the hell you other three captains couldn't use your Shikai and normal techniques to hold them off, I guess? I don't know, it's not the best technique, I guess. And then basically, obviously, all four of their Bankais get stolen. And like, I feel like your Zanpakuto has a spirit, okay? Because Hitsugaya was like, say something, say anything, Yorimaru, Yorimaru! And he basically, I genuinely felt kind of sad for this dude, to be honest, because it actually felt like a kid crying, okay? And it makes sense, like he's still not as mature as the others because he's compared to them still a kid, okay? To one point, I actually thought that when he was talking to Rangiku after being unable to talk to Yorimaru, he was going to be like, Rangiku, what are you doing? Attack them! Get my Yorimaru back! Like, Rangiku, attack him! This bully is troubling me! Get my toy back! Basically, something like that. So I felt like this a little, but he didn't say that. He was like, tell every other captain about this ability, and basically everyone gets to know that. Where was I? And then basically, Renji, his dumb red ass, basically decides to go into his Bankai. By the way, guys, Renji's Bankai has been modified according to Kubo. This is something that he already told, that it's been modified somewhat, so it would look a little different. Might be a little bit more powerful, I don't know. But Renji decides to go into his Bankai. Byakuya stops him and he's like, we can't lose your Bankai, you dumb ass. We can't lose it. I was dumb enough. Other three captains were dumb enough to do it. I have learned my lesson. Don't do it. And Renji's like, then how the hell are we supposed to defeat these people, Captain? I mean, he kind of makes sense to some extent, but No. By the way, other captains should have used Kido, like Bakugo number anything, ba Kado number something, something at least try something. They didn't try anything, honestly. Um, it's kind of weird. Okay. Also, then we shift to a scene, one of my favorite scenes in this episode, honestly, because we get to see one of my favorite characters in this episode. Shunsui versus goddamn Quincy version of Stark. Shunsui will always fight someone who has goddamn guns. He will never get to fight someone with goddamn sword, I guess. Okay. That sucks. The man has two swords. I guess it's kind of unfair. I don't know. So he basically fights Gordon, whatever the I don't know. He basically fights this Guns Quincy who looks kind of cool. Okay, not gonna lie. Quincy always fights someone who has a gun and who always looks cool. Maybe he looks cool because he has a gun, but I think it's kind of both factors. He looks cool, gun only amplifies that fact to some extent. Okay, he basically tries to fight him, and actually Shunsui is very worried because he's like, okay, we can't use our Bankai. Captain Mayuri is really smart. He basically comes up with a solution within a day if he has complete information, but he was not able to come up with a solution because he doesn't have complete information. And we also get to see Mayuri like basically kind of sleeping during the attack. Bad thing, Mayuri, by the way. And he comes to the conclusion that no, they are not sealing up Bankai. And later on we could get to find that, according to Byakuya, they stole my Bankai. Okay, so he's like, these people, like Captain Mayuri is really smart. He didn't get enough information, and that's why we are in a problem. And Mayuri is like, why the hell you couldn't wait for some time for me to analyze these people and come to us, bring up a solution for you dumbasses. Basically, all of you deserve to die. Yamamoto, or you also deserve to die for that previous episode conversation that we had, basically. So also Byakuya using but he felt like his Bankai was stolen. So what I understand from this is like their spirit, their Bankai, the Zanpakuto spirit has been stolen away, and these turn readers can use their Bankai on other people now, or even on them. Like this, as No Debt can use his Byakuya'S Bankai on Byakuya, and that would be a bloodbath. Oh shit. I think this is what it means when you say you stole something rather than stealing it. Like, I am a dum but this feels like common sense, so to be honest. This feels back. So that means we can see Sasakibe's Bankai as well. Like, he is there, but his Bankai was stolen. We can see his Bankai. It's something golden because we got to see a reflection of that Bankai in the first episode, but we don't exactly know how it looks and what it does. So everyone is basically fighting, and basically losing. And then we shift to Ichigo fighting Mr. Quincy Hitler. Quileg OP, right? His alphabet is J. By the way, I don't understand this alphabetical order. Is like it's J for J it means jail. And he's like the Hitler, he's like the police commander basically in a way. So the J is like a rank from A to Z, where A is the number one or Z is the number one. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards A to be the number one. But I mean, or is it just like a representation of what they like during Espartas? Everyone had an aspect of death, Ukiura, nihilism, Grimjaw, destruction, right? Stark, loneliness. So I don't know, is this supposed to be like a aspect of them in a way? Like his duty is to be a police officer basically and jail people, prison them. So that's why his alphabet is J, meaning jail, and so on for other people also. I'm not sure, but he's basically fighting Ichigo, and he basically is getting his ass kicked by Ichigo again and again. He tries to absorb his Bankai, steal his Bankai again and again. He's not able to do it. In the manga, we get to find out that he was already informed by other stern readers, I guess, in a way that Ichigo's Bankai cannot be stolen that easily, I guess. And he was like, okay, but I'm still in my wall standing, and I also absorb that monster, and he's still out overpowers me so damn much. How is this possible? And Ichigo is basically kicking his ass, and we get to see Akon talking to Urohara, Kisuke Urohara, and Kisuke Urohara is like, "Oh, how are things?" And after a whole bit of conversation, he's like, "So I will ask again, Akon, how are things?" And basically, then Kisuke decides to one shot Mr. Hitler. I mean, there was a reason, because he got aggravated and he shifted his defensive ability into his from to his offensive ability for a second. And in that moment, Kisuke, you attacked him and basically, according to him, one-shotted him. But that was not true. We will talk about that later on a little bit. So basically, Kisuke Akon tells Ichigo everything when he's trying to travel to Soul Society, and Kisuke tells Chad and Horime to bring up that, what do you call it, the Quincy the Bankai stealing device from the body of Mr. Quincy Hitler, basically. And he's like, give me that device, I have to research it, which makes sense. We need to do that, because this is the biggest weapon that they have, in my opinion. Like, every other ability is also really terrifying. It's wall standing and Bankai. Like, wall standing is basically they just blow you out of the water in terms of power, in a way, to some extent. And without Bankai, that's just suicide, basically, going into the fight, honestly. So basically, explains to Ichigo their abilities that we already know about. He explains wall standing, he explains blunt artery, blunt vein, that I explained to you earlier. And what did he explain anything earlier? I think that's it. And he was about to say something to Ichigo that for some reason, for the moment, your Bankai cannot be stolen. And like, he was supposed to say something and he was cut off, but I don't think he has a proper explanation of why is that happening. I think he was going to say something like that, for the moment your Bankai cannot be stolen, the reasons for that are unknown. He was going to say are unknown, I think so. I don't feel like he knew what's going on to that extent. Okay, then it turns out Mr. Quincy Hitler is using Ranso Tengai. And if noobs don't know what this ability is, it's basically, you use reishi to make sure that you bind your joints together and your muscles and ligaments together, and basically use your broken bones and muscles to fight, as they just are. How the hell I explain this? Basically, it's like this. This is a joint. This is a joint. You combine reishi, and these joints are now connected to each other with the help of reishi strings, and you fight with them, and they keep on fighting with unless these joints and these like limbs or basic organs basically turn to dust. So you can fight endlessly until you turn into goddamn dust, actually. So Kisuke probably next episode is going to fight this guy, and it's going to be somewhat of an interesting fight. And because he basically, Mr. Quincy Atlas jails, jail. He basically seals Ichigo, and he's not able to get to Soul Society. He puts him in basically a dark jail. So jail, okay. So one thing I really want to talk about is that Mayuri and Kenpachi. Mayuri, like, I think these two people have the potential, and Yamamoto, okay? Mayuri, Kenpachi, and Yamamoto. These three people have the potential of that Bankai stealing ability won't work on them. Also, I wonder, can Byakuya use a Shikai now that his Bankai is stolen? I don't feel like he can even use his Shikai, because I feel like the Zanpakuto spirit in itself is stolen, because Hitsuga didn't feel anything from the sword, basically. So back to the topic. Shikai Yamamoto, I think, is more than enough for wall standing stern readers also. Okay, I don't know about the top, not the leader, no, not Yuha, definitely not Yuha, but for I think almost like maybe not the leader of the Stern Raiders, that blonde dude, but I think for everyone else, he can simply handle it. With his Shikas, they can't steal his Bankai. His Bankai, goddamn. We will see it. Obviously, we are going to see every Bankai in this final arc. If we don't see that, that's just basically dumb. So, Yamamoto is a threat, obviously. In the manga, he basically decides to go and fight. We see one panel of him not just standing there in sorrow. He basically moves and goes somewhere to fight. Okay, not in the anime, don't get to see that. Basically, Mayuri is a dude who doesn't necessarily need his Bankai. Like, we have seen it countless times. Like, Mayuri is like, I don't care about my Bankai. It's like during his fight against Espada number 8, Sazalopolo Grants, he basically destroys his own Bankai. He's not like that. Like, I don't need it that much. I use this bitch, okay? And Kenpachi, do I even need to tell you? He doesn't have a Bankai. He doesn't need a Bankai. If fighting Kenpachi, you won't have that special advantage over like you had with other people, because while you are fighting other people, their greatest asset is their Bankai, and you can steal them, and you can basically reduce their power to by 50% at least, I would say. But when you're fighting Kenpachi, this man doesn't have a Bankai. You are screwed. And by the way, also, it was mentioned in the previous episode, special war potentials. I feel like this, like special war potentials, what I feel like means these are the people who are like the strongest people, the people Yuha told Stern Raiders about, that these stay away from these people. Okay, these are strong. They can turn the tide of the war from one side to the other. They can shift the whole angle of the. They can shift the whole angle of the war, basically. I feel like that. God damn it. I feel like that. So I feel there are going to be 5 special war potential. I know that much. It's not that of a spoiler. Okay, it's not a spoiler. Okay. Obviously, Ichigo is one of them. Okay, now we have 4 left. The candidates that I think can be that in this category are Yamamoto, Kenpachi, Kisuke, no, Aizen. A lot of people are saying Uryu can be one. I don't feel like his power level can match to be, his power level is good enough to be in this category even in the future. I don't feel like it. Story wise, it would make sense, but I don't feel like I will put him on the list, but not that much. Unohana, definitely Unohana. Shunsui and Ukitake. I feel like out of these 7 people, 4 of them will be war potentials. I don't think any Espada is going to be a special war potential. Okay? And give me a minute.
5 minutes later.
By the way, I'm really, really, really sad that my man Shunsui lost an eye. I don't know what else he's going to lose, what else everyone else is going to lose. Oh, god damn it. By the way, this is like I did keratin on my hair. My hair are a little too curly. If you people are interested in knowing about my life, I guess, I don't know. My hair a little too curly sometimes, so I did keratin on my hair, and now it's basically too flat. I have experienced this earlier before. After a week or so, this flatness will go down, and it will become a little bit more wavy, and by the end result, the end product basically would be my hair being not as curly as what it used to be before, and will have a little bit more of a cylinder look, basically. I don't know, so don't get used to this type of hair. It will go off soon. Okay, if you like the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in another life. Bye. Hi. By the way, I forgot to mention this in the video, I guess. The scene where one scene is not shown in the anime and is shown in the manga, which is probably one of my favorite scenes in the manga that was not shown in this episode, was a scene between Yuha and that blonde leader type stern ritter basically. In that scene, when that blonde stern ritter basically destroys Aizen, and Koiga he can't touch Aizen, we all know that. But when he destroys Aizen, so he basically he asks Yua, and Yua is basically like, if you want to kill these other no names basically Shinigamis, it's totally up to you. And it feels like it is not shown, but it feels like he did not kill those no name Shinigamis and those two known Shinigamis who no one gives a crap about basically.
One eternity later.
Also, I feel really bad for Chad and Orihime. Like, those people, really. And that's a cat, so meow meow. Those people, like, man, like, pretty bad. But, like, good job. At least they were, I mean, they were not good enough shield also. But, man, I won't blame them, okay? I think this is way above their paid grade. It's kind of obvious that both of them are not going to play that big of a role in this arc, which makes sense.